Hello YouTube, my name is Matthew, or Matthew Decays to use my username. I don't normally make YouTube videos, which is what I said the last time I made a YouTube video. The one time I tend to make exceptions is every now and then I'll make a video playthrough series for Age of Wonders. So I did it with Age of Wonders 3, although I don't think that's still on YouTube. I did it with Age of Wonders Planetfall, and I've done it once before for Age of Wonders 4. And with the release of the Empires and Ashes DLC that just came out this week, and the new Golem update, I've decided to do another one. It's just on a whim. I have no real experience, like I say, making videos. I have no video editing experience, and I don't really feel inclined to learn, so this is just going to be me playing the game and talking about it while I play. It's not like a review, it's not a deep dive into the mechanics or anything like that, it's not a guide, it's just a playthrough. So hopefully some people will still find it interesting and or enjoyable, but I'm just doing it as a wee bit of fun, a wee hobby, and so forth. So the new DLC has brought with it a new form, the Avian form, so you can have bird people, although not with wings. A new culture, the Reaver culture, which is, I guess you could say it's sort of piratey, kinda. It's very war focused. They've got special mechanics about being at war, a special resource they get for fighting other empires and free cities. And they've got a bit of a sort of Magitech theme. They've got mage-lock rifles, they've got cannons. I don't know if it's restricted to their units, their heroes, but their heroes can have like a sword and pistol. And it also brought with it 4 new tomes. The Tome of Alchemy, which I probably won't be using this playthrough, that's mostly focused around buffs and debuffs and getting rid of debuffs. The Tome of Constructs, which brings with it the Bronze Golem, a tier 4 polearm golem, that the Copper Golem now evolves into, along with some buffs for casting that will affect your constructs. The Tome of the Dreadnought, which brings the Ironclad, which is like this big, it's kind of like a land ship almost, but it's like a big tank, bombard type thing. And the Tome of Severing, which is basically an anti-magic, or at least anti-magical creature tome. And besides that, there's a revamped trait system. It's now point buy rather than just 2 traits. There's item craftings now in the game, which was sorely missed at launch. And there's now the Seals victory. So, we'll start a new game. I'll create a new faction.
Choose destination.
I'm just going to take a pre-made by me faction map for this. A fairly normal realm. It doesn't have anything too special. It's got continents, it's got world seals, and there's 3 settings for the world seals. Active, normal, and dormant, and that just determines how many points you need to get a victory. So I put it on dormant so that nobody rushes the seals necessarily, but they're there just to keep things a little bit interesting maybe. A Wondrous Pass just because I like wonders, and Volcanic Eruptions just that any desolate terrain is a little bit nastier than it normally would be. But otherwise, it is, as it says, a fairly normal realm. And we'll put on hard difficulty. Let me go to hard. I usually do hard difficulty because most games I don't really enjoy the top difficulty. It doesn't mean I can't beat it, I just don't have as much fun. But I also find it a bit too easy on the first few difficulties. So I usually put it on hard, so the enemy puts up a bit of a fight, but I'm not feeling like it's a total slog. There's other reasons as well, but I'm not going to do like a whole TED talk on it. And I usually like to turn off the score victory, because although I'm hoping that this playthrough doesn't drag on too long, because I know people will stop watching after a few videos, I don't like when it just says, hey, you reached your time limit, game over. No, I want to win by actually defeating an enemy. Everything else I'll just leave normal.
Your journey.
And we'll make a faction. So, since it's the new form, we're going to go with the birds, and we will look at, I'm not going to look at all of them, like I say, this isn't like a deep dive into all the stuff, but now you've got traits that cost 1 point, traits that cost 2 points, and traits that cost 3. All the mounts cost 3, and all the adaptation for terrain costs 1, and you get 5 points. So I am thinking we're going to take Keen-Sighted, because they're birds, eagle-eyed and all that, and it'll help with our riflemen, who because they're not very mobile, it can be difficult to get into sort of close range with them, and also very dangerous for them, because they only they can only shoot when they've got 3 action points. They can't do a move and a shot. So you kind of want to mitigate the long range penalties on them if you can. And I think we might take light-footed, which means friendly units no longer block movement, which is situational. There's times when it does nothing at all, but there's times when it can save a unit, basically. You can have if a unit gets caught out of position, they can run behind their friends a lot more easily. And that leaves us with 1 point left. I don't think I want a terrain adaptation, so of what's left, Sharp Eyes would be thematic, extra vision range and sensing range. Hit points would just be nice. But I'm probably going to have a lot of constructs, so I'm not sure how much I want. Like, all my tanks and stuff are going to be golems, probably, so I'm not sure that would really play in too much. I think we'll just go with the Sharp Eyes. It's not terribly exciting, and it's not exactly something that helps you win battles, but how about the extra vision range? Easier to scout.
What is their origin culture?
And our origin culture is going to be the Reavers, the new faction who look suitably menacing and spiky. So their thing is, their mana structures also do a bit of production. Their special thing is anything with the mark debuff, which is a debuff to reduce the enemy's evasion, making them easier to hit. They do extra damage, 10% damage per stack of marked, so you want to build up marked on your opponents. They get 1 less Whispering Stone, so at the start they cannot make friends with free cities to start with, at least not through normal means, until they unlock them. But they do have other things. They've got War Spoils. While they're in battle and conquering cities from empires and free cities, they get these resources and they can use them in diplomacy, kind of like a declaration of friendship. It gradually improves your relations with the other empire, but thematically you're not making friends with them, you're bullying them. You're saying, see what we did to those other guys? You better make nice with us or we'll do the same to you. And similarly, you can spend the war spoils to advance like vassalage and pact levels with the free cities. Again, you're bullying them. And they've got Total War. They do not get Imperium income penalties from doing an unjustified war. They'll still get the relationship penalties with other empires if they do an unjust war, but they don't get the Imperium income penalty. And they are a mix of Chaos and Materium.
What defines their society?
So I'm probably going to be doing quite a lot of Materium tomes to get the golems, because I want to try out. I say try out. I've already done a playthrough on my Twitch stream, but I want to use the golems and stuff. Just it's part of their whole set of Magitech features. But I also want to advance reasonably quickly down to Chaos Empire development. So we're going to probably take Chaos stuff to start with. And you can see, you might have noticed that's new. This has been added as an unlock in the, what do you call it, the Pantheon tree, Merciless Slavers, where routing units are captured if you are victorious in combat, and you get a -10 alignment, and you get a bonus War Slaves, which, if I can get this tooltip to work. So I believe this is one of the Chaos things. Raising cities gives you +1 population for every 3 in the city that was raised. It's a Chaos Empire skill. I wasn't sure if it was an addition to the Pantheon, but no, it's not the Pantheon, the Empire skills. It is a part of it. It is the same one, so it just unlocks it early. So that's one of the other things we'll see once we're in the game. The Reavers have a unit that it can subdue anyone that's been immobilized, stunned, or frozen, and a subdued enemy can't do anything while it's subdued. And if you defeat all its pals, you then get the option to pay some of your war spoils to make it your unit. Basically, you capture them and force them to work for you. I don't know if we're going to take this or not. I'm not sure. I am going to try Chosen Destroyers. I've only tried this once before, and it pushes me out of my comfort zone, because I'm very much a turtle player in strategy games. I tend to avoid actively going to war. I wait until the enemy gets angry enough at me that they go to war, and then I fight them. But this is all about raising cities, and everybody gets a relationship penalty against you, and you get bonuses for raising cities, but you cannot get new cities, and you can only raise cities that you conquer. I'm not even sure it's possible for them to have vassals or not. I guess theoretically it is, but difficult. So we're going to do Chosen Destroyers to push me out of my comfort zone. Hopefully this doesn't end in disaster, because, like I say, I'm not used to being aggressively at war all the time. Now I'm going to make this a champion leader, because there's been a change that golems are now considered constructs rather than elementals. They're not magic origin anymore, which means their upkeep is purely gold, not mana. There'll be mana upkeep if you do enchantments on them, obviously, because the enchantments themselves have upkeep, but maybe this just to get some more gold. There's also, I don't think we're going to do ritual cannibals, doesn't really... If we were able to do crows, annoyingly they did not give you the option to have like black feathers on your birds, so you can't make crows or ravens. So crows, carrion birds, vultures, things like that, corpse eating would fit them fantastically. And I feel like prolific swarmers, when you've only got one city, it loses some of its benefit if the reduced fooding requirement for getting new population, because eventually your one city is going to be the biggest city. You're going to hit the cap and you're only getting the bonus for one city rather than like 3, 4, 5 cities. So I don't think we'll do that either. Although non-magic origin units having minus 20% upkeep, that would actually be pretty nice. We might do... I don't really envisage them as swarming though. I think it's between Merciless Slavers and Ruthless Raiders. I should really have thought all this out before I started the video, to be honest, but you'll find this about me. I very often don't think things through in advance and then dither quite a lot when I'm choosing. We'll go Merciless Slavers. Try the new thing.
Choose your first tome of magic.
And I am thinking the obvious thing, get constructs on the go. Now, spell-tempered shields won't help us initially because we don't have any shield units in the Reaver faction. We'll have to get them through other tomes. But Seeker Arrows is nice. Getting 1 extra range on our mage locks is very useful because, like I say, they're not very mobile. And we get 2 skirmisher units, so they'll get the benefit too. I don't really care about awakened tools very often. I mean, technically it's alright in the early game, I guess, but... And then Sundering Blades. It affects melee units. We have melee units. It's a solid thing. It's quite nice. So we're going to start with this new tome, Tome of Alchemy, which I'm not going to use this playthrough. It's Nature and Materium. It's all about creating clouds that debuff people, cleansing debuffs, giving you positive effects. It's got a unit that specifically does debuff stuff, Miasma Shot, and so on. But we're not going to try that just now. We're going to go Tome of Enchantment.
What is your ruler's origin?
And as I said, being as we're not going to have many magic origin units, we'll go for the gold income. I think Wizard King's probably still stronger, but I like to vary it and try a bit of everything from my different factions. So our non-hero units will get extra XP, we'll get a bit extra draft, we'll get extra gold income and extra stability. And we'll slightly mitigate the Chosen Destroyer penalty, but only slightly. 3 cities.
Reveal yourself.
Oh, he's already got the somewhat piratey swashbuckler look. So, they've now grouped the icons by affinity and a couple of miscellaneous things, which I guess makes it slightly easier to find what you're looking for. There isn't that much for birds. There's 2 that we were able to unlock through the Pantheon that are sort of feathers. But otherwise for birds, you've got a swan, you've got a dove somewhere in here, but I don't see it immediately. And you've got the penguins, which isn't the most varied. Oh, there's the dove there. And that's about it. There isn't like a hawk. They're sort of vaguely draconic that could be viewed as a bird, I guess. If we go to Materium, we could go for... Like, that looks sufficiently... I mean, it kind of looks like a big pig, to be honest. But we could go for something that's just kind of imperial looking, intimidating. Or we could go for... Like, I can't quite tell what's supposed to be happening with this feather. It's sort of like a sort of fiery feather with a wee chunk out of it. I don't know. We could be ironic and have the dove while we're all about declaring war on everyone. I might do that. I'm just skimming through to see if anything jumps out at me, because although I have played since the patch, I haven't played a lot and I'm a little rusty on what the options are. We could go for this bird claw talon thing. I'm going to do this slightly wild, fiery sort of feather. And for the colours, to be honest, I kind of like those colours. Or maybe can we reverse them? That. Yeah, let's go with that. Right, and if we change, I'm going to reset everything while we create this character. But if we go to the default pose, there we have pistol and sword. So they get a repeating sword attack, and then they get a once every other turn pistol attack, which is kind of nice. I've unlocked a couple more things. Origins. So pistol and sword, you start with a mount and you get the sprint skill. So all of these things start you with an upgrade already. It's like sword and shield gives you a mount. You start with a helmet and plus 10 max hit points, the vigor upgrade, along with the basic weaponry. The veteran's pike was unlocked through Pantheon. It gives you an extra retaliation attack and a pike, which has first strike built into it. But I think we'll probably go with the pistol and sword, right? And I'll make it a male leader. Be a bit beefier than a sort of skinny bird. Arms are always a bit weird in these models. Like long arms, it's like down to his knees. So I think we'll just go slightly shorter than average. And maybe a little bit taller. In fact, just go for mid-height. And in terms of the colours, your base colours are fairly limited to sort of pastel sort of colours, very sort of light, and then a very deep red. And to get anything else, you pretty much have to use the skin decoration. So the early skin decoration things are like patterns and war paint and stuff. But half of them don't really work very well on birds. Like this is like you've got blood all over you, but it doesn't really work very well with feathers. And like, again, war paint doesn't, in my view, work very well with feathers. But if we get past the sort of midway point, we start to get actual sort of plumage stuff that does work quite well. It does mean your options for, like, you can't just have like a bright blue bird, or like I say, black feathers to make a raven or a crow or something like that. So it is a little limiting. I mean, you can make this sort of very bright sort of tropical bird coloration, sort of fuchsia, a fairly traditional looking parrot, I would say. So I quite liked this as a sort of reasonably intimidating looking fella. We've got different bird heads, including a big shoebill type beak. But again, not really anything for... Like, one thing that confuses me, they haven't got any way to make your people look like penguins. Age of Wonders' like mascot is the dire penguin, and yet there's nothing. So I'm just going to go for the default sort of hawk head, I think. Eyes, something relatively bright, but eye colour doesn't matter too much, because you can barely see it during the game. And then we have various sort of head plumage options, which I think I'll just do the relatively understated, but less understated than none at all, just a sort of crown of feathers. And then similarly, you can have feathered eyebrows if you so desire. Just go for them. And then outfits. So Got the sort of proper marauder, almost barbarian type thing. A little bit more cultured, almost piratey, kinda, sorta. It almost looks like you can have a religious bent while still being a marauder faction. And then this is like your sort of foppish, almost like you're a noble marauder. A bit more armoured. And then these, I've seen these in the other factions. I think we'll go for maybe just this, where it's a sort of mix of armour and sort of vaguely piratey, maraudery stuff. And I don't think we'll give them a helmet. I mean, we could give them the... It's like a spiky conquistador helmet. But they've got quite a few helmet options, and then, yeah, we could give them a somewhat pirate look. But I think I might go without a helmet for them. Just skimming through just to see if there's anything new that I haven't seen recently. We'll just do the default. He's an unassuming fellow. He's not all about the displays of ostentatiousness and so on. I saw someone had done, because some of these cloaks are feathered. That's not one of them. Yeah, I saw someone that had done, they had like a lizard leader but with a feather coat. So it was a lizard leading the bird people, and it's like, this is what happened to the last person that defied me. You're gonna do what I said, do what I say, right? It's like, there's the person that he defeated to take control, and so on. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna go for something sort of militaristic. Bit of armour, maybe. I like that, other than I don't particularly want a cat on my shoulder. It's a bird. Birds don't want cats. Maybe an actual cat's head on its shoulder as a sort of trophy, but not as decoration. It doesn't really fit. Maybe this. Kinda like just to have, like, these shoulder plates but on both shoulders. I guess there's that. Yeah, we'll go with that. Makes them look reasonably impressive. Well, not impressive, but intimidating. Give them golden armour, but as I say, we're not going too terribly ostentatious here. We'll just go with this. Got a bit of colour, but not too much. And now we can select the default personalities. This is for when you're playing a game that the AI is using your faction. You can decide. Normally, I think it goes by your starting choices, your starting affinities, but you can say, actually, forget about that. You're going to be a diplomat when AI controls you. I don't know if this affects what tomes they'll research, but it affects their behaviours. I feel like these guys are probably militant warlords, being as we are very much Chosen Destroyer Reavers. And then for our race, again, I don't want them too skinny. And they should probably match our leader in general appearance. Does my leader have a bright red beak? Oh, we haven't got the same head. Am I missing the head option that my leader has? Which is a weird thing to do, or is it just positioned differently? That's fairly similar. Strange, it's in different places. And for a mount, I think just horses. I could have ponies, but it just looks ridiculous. We'll maybe just stick with the grey armour. You could have red armour. Again, we could be all gold. But no, I think just the grey armour is fine.
Your
right.
journey begins.
I'm going to call these the Warhawks, because I'm very imaginative. I haven't really thought, we're going to be a Supreme Commander, but I haven't really thought of a name for my leader, so I'm just going to randomise until I see something I like. I'm not even sure what I'm looking for exactly. It's got a lot of got a bit of a sort of Eastern European flavour to these names, which I assume is to do with them being Reavers, I guess? Unless it's to do with them being birds. I'm not sure how it decides what names to offer. Not all of them are, mind you. How about Vic Cruisin'? Vic Cruisin' Hawk. Sure. So let's go. And I should maybe have said, I'm going to try and make these videos about an hour each, because apparently just under an hour is best for the algorithm. Not that I really care too much about that, but also because I know that people probably aren't going to sit and watch a 4-hour video and might be discouraged from even clicking on a 4-hour video. Right. We get a review of what we've got, but we already know that because we just did that. And we start off with a Reaver spell, Suppressing Barrage, which is a low damage, 1 hex radius with a 30% chance to immobilise the target. It's a bit weak, to be honest, but it's better than nothing to start with. And we start with summoning Copper Golems. Can't afford to summon a Copper Golem to start with, it'll take us some turns to get the mana. But so, our immediate surroundings, there's always mountains right next to your capital for some reason, that's just a thing. And we can look at the units we get. So, the Reaver Scout is basically non-combat, it has no attacks. All it can do is every turn it can mark a target. Very long range, but that's all it can do. So I don't usually bring them into combat. I only ever build a couple of them and just use them for early game scouting, and then I don't really worry about them after that. They get extra sensing range, I think possibly most scouts do. They're defended against range attacks, because all constructs are. If they're the last unit, they just die. They get reduced morale changes. So this is the weird thing, is constructs can be affected by morale. Not as easily, but they can be affected by morale. But they are immune to mind control. So we'll just send it down to grab this gold. And where on the map are we? Right, we're on the east edge, slightly south of centre. So we can see there's an infestation there. The other thing is, for the crafting, these magic materials are much more valuable than before. They're already valuable because they gave you all sorts of bonuses, but they also determine what effects you can put on your items that you craft, which we can't do yet. So we started off with a mercenary, which is a polearm unit. It costs more than a normal tier 1 would cost. It's got decent health, it's got a repeating attack, it's got first strike, it's got all the usual polearm stuff, and it's got this drive back that does a bit of fire damage, single hit, and pushes the target back and it moves into their hex. Also, ignores half of the enemy's defense. So they're quite good. And then the Harrier is their skirmisher. It's got standard repeating attack. It's got Cast Net, which has a 90% chance to mobilise and always inflicts marked, and does a little bit of damage. They do not trigger opportunity attacks, and these are, they're immune to slowing, I think. That's from our racial thing. So they're okay in the early game. I don't use them much at once. We're in this at mid game, but early game they're alright. So we probably need to get some units. We don't start with any archers of any type, that's tier 2, so I'm going to build a Harrier for now, because when we get around to it we'll get a Copper Golem. Don't necessarily want to fight with just the 3 of them, unless it's something really easy. Like, I would feel technically we're stronger than them, but I wouldn't feel super confident because they can do a lot of burst damage, so we'll maybe just do a bit of exploration to start with. I mean, we could, because they summon animals. So yeah, I don't even want to do that. For research, I think I'll start with the Sundering Blades. I do definitely want to see her arrows, but we can use that immediately. This would only benefit our Harriers just now, so I'd rather wait until we've got the Mage Locks. And I usually build a workshop to start with. It will let us train units faster, it'll let us build buildings faster. Which that's actually something that wasn't mentioned in the Reaver thing. I don't think workshops normally give you draft, I think they're normally just production. unless things have changed. But there you can see their mana structure. Gives you production in mana. I'm not sure if that's production instead or as well. Like I say, it's been a while since I played, so I've kind of forgotten what the defaults are. And I don't know if stuff's changed since the last time I played in addition to the recent patch. Old speakers again. Right, let's see about the infestation. We could probably take that brigand camp, actually. Although there's also a free city over here. Let's make contact. Chiefess Aicha, Razor Crest of the Free City Woundheart, regards you with unveiled suspicion. So the proud citizens of Woundheart meet with a Supreme Commander. We suggest you approach us, Ashen Fae, with caution, for you will find we do not bow as easily as you Warhawks. If we get war spoils, we can intimidate them to make them our pals. So these people are the Ashen Fae. They're underground elves with white wolf mounts and elusive, and they're barbarians. And they currently don't like us very much. We're losing allegiance every turn. Eventually they will go to war, and that's because of our chosen destroyers, and also because we're a little bit evil, I guess. But there's new features, cooperation tab, where you can actually now tell your vassals to focus on a particular enemy. But no, we're going to go and take on that brigand camp, and we should get a new unit by the time we're over there. Right, I'm feeling a bit more confident about that. We'll summon a golem. And we'll maybe build another harrier. Just so we've got 3 skirmishy types. Found the underground already, although I kind of want to get that tower. Although the tower, with our extra sensing range and stuff, the tower won't be that much better than just moving, but what I find is the way this game's made, and that looks like quite a big cave, there's probably an AI capital down there. It likes to use the underground to go against whatever sort of map size settings you had, so that you end up with stuff a lot closer than you wanted. I see some free food over there. Well, it's not, it's gold. It looked like piles of food to me. There's also a counts a quarry, so a production wonder that gives you serpents in the Rally of Lieges, although the chance of us getting much in the Rally of Lieges is slim, since we won't be doing an awful lot of lost my train of thought. An awful lot of diplomacy with the free cities. Right. You'll find I do that sometimes as well. I'll start talking while I'm thinking about what I'm doing in the game, and then I'll forget what I was saying, like 2 words in, and I'll just my brain just shuts down. Right, early days I'll do manual combat most of the time. Later on I'll start doing auto combat when it's an easy fight. But early days I tend to manual combat all the time. I usually put on the second speed for the AIs. So we do not have any shield units, so I guess we're just... And because of our trait, I can just run right through them if I want. I'm going to run to here and we're going to shoot them with our pistol, our Magelock pistol. So yeah, the sword and pistol, we've got a basic melee attack, and then the Magelock ignores 50% enemy's defense, 22 damage, which is slightly less than 2 repeating attacks. It's only range 3, and it has a... Oh, it doesn't have a cooldown. I thought it had a cooldown. There's definitely a unit that has that with a cooldown, but no, you can do it every turn if you really want. Unfortunately, we just grazed. And they're out of range of my net, which is unfortunate. So my hero's going to suffer a little bit because they've got pikes. Well, apparently they're poisonous as well. Oh, they're really going for my hero. let's have them hit the pipe. Let's have them tie down the supports a little bit. I think my hero's gonna sprint to get out of there, move around here where he's a little bit safer, and shoot them. And then they'll come round and stab them in the back. And we got poisoned. Oh, I've got these guys. I never realised I had those guys. Okay. Up a net on the supports, they can't get away. I'm making mistakes in my very first battle. That's terrible. Painful. Right, if you kill them. My leader's going to just stab him in the back a bunch of times. Stab them in the back a bunch of times. They're going to run away. Which they can do. Because that's our thing for the... Does poison stack? Oh, it does stack now. It's like bleed. It can go up to 5 times. Oh, this is going to hurt then. Sad trombone. Oh, I forgot he doesn't have the slippery. Well, that was not a great performance on my part. And I got a shield. I'm not really needing a shield, but okay. That's just that's not actual stuff. That's just decoration. Okay. Well, I need another one of these then. And we've got our first building, our first province rather, and we finished. Did I get production as a reward for that? Is that why we finished? I wasn't really paying attention. I don't pay too much attention to what the rewards are. Does it even tell you here? I think we got it as a result of winning the battle. I think it was production. So next I'd like the storehouse so we can grow a bit faster. Just thinking, do I want to put a forester here? Because obviously there's mines there. Yeah, we'll do a forester here. And that'll let us boost the storehouse, get a bit faster and cheaper. And at some point we'll get that hero's lodge, but maybe not just now because it'll take a wee while. My ruler leveled up, so I think Sundering Strikes is probably the best thing to give him. So both of his attacks will do Sundered Defense. We'll end turn. So I am just going to spend a couple of turns healing up here. And then I guess we'll hit that cart over there. We've got our Sundering Blades. We'll get the engraving of focus, that our non-culture units will get focused aggression, primarily our golems. Can't afford that this turn, but we can next turn. And we've unlocked the starting stuff, so ordinarily I would prioritise this because being able to get an empire for a new city, an outpost for a new city early on, getting a bit faster and a bit cheaper, that'd be good. We will maybe want outposts at some point, but for now, defeating an infestation will give us a unit. Now, I maybe should have waited to get that before I defeated the infestation, mind you, but there'll be more infestations. I should build another scout, actually. Right, I think I might try this fight without healing my leader to full. So it's Acha again. She's heard of her progress in education and knowledge. Every time I hear about Vokensgrad, I'm amazed by your newest arcane breakthrough. It seems like you're advancing by leaps and bounds while we still crawl like newborn babes. She's changed her tune a fair bit. Would you, the brilliant Supreme Commander Vic Cruisin Hawk, be interested in educating my people so we may follow you on this path of knowledge? And she bows. I bow before your arcane expertise, my Supreme Commander, and humbly ask for your scholars to instruct mine. So, I could lose 12 knowledge a turn, which I gain 60 a turn, so that's not a big penalty, and she'll like us more. I can do the same and get some money, or I can just say no. Now, we're not going to be friends with them, I don't think. We're going to end up attacking them and raising them. So I think we will just say no. I want my research. And yeah, we're going to attack this now. Just accept that my leader's a little bit injured, but he comes back if he dies. And we've got pole arms, which are kind of a counter for shock units. But let's not actually give them the opportunity to test that theory. Let's just set up like that. Oh, they're doing the same thing. Spend some mana then, and see if we can immobilize some of them. No. But maybe I can... Okay, well in that case I may as well get as close as I can, but maybe I can immobilize some with the nets. Make it harder for them to flank. You'll just go in here. Not a very good chance to hit. But we did. Speed that up a little bit. Okay, that's gone quite well. We'll go around and flank them. My leader will just keep shooting. Actually, no, my leader's going to go up and actually kill someone. Because his accuracy seems surprisingly bad. And hey, we're happy because we're killing people, or, well, elementals. And they're unhappy because they're dying. He doesn't even attack because he knows that my counter-attack will finish him off. Those are Storm Spirits, and that's why it was so difficult to hit. I hadn't even considered that. The Storm Spirits get like a sort of wind aura that makes it hard to hit them. Right, let's just maybe go after that next. Clear that, try and capture it as soon as we can. Let's keep scouting about. Oh, we've met Veneria, star-sailing Fae. She says I'm inconsiderate. Many weak war, she aims to make peace. She's an authoritarian diplomat. She likes empires with a single race, that's me, with a stronger military, probably isn't me just now. Doesn't like empires with good relations with free cities, which won't be me, and doesn't like empires that have a lot of alliances, so she might actually end up sort of liking me. I mean, she absolutely hates me right now. The threat level, we've got clashing affinities, our alignment's different. Yeah, this isn't going to be a friendly interaction. She's already size 4 on her city. Right, and I need to make a scout. And I think we'll get the library going next. We can get another thing. So, maybe a farm, both for growth and to help with the boosting. could attack this turn, but I may as well get the little bit of healing on my leader first. Because I could separate him off to make the attack, but I'm not in any rush. We won't get any special benefit from killing it now rather than later. What I will do is I'll hurry production of that and queue up Mercenary. We're going to go see what's up north. Okay. Getting that banner would be nice. Get an extra level early on. There's one school of thought is you delay getting that so that you get it when XP requirements to level up have gotten bigger, because it's just an instant level up. But the chances are it will be gone by then. So, got some Tide Spirits, we'll fight them. Might have to retreat and heal up after this. I noticed there's still a pause at the very start. This is a fairly new computer, I got it this year. And there's still a slight pause at the start of combat. Which I don't quite understand why. So they're just fighter. They don't really do anything special. They're particularly vulnerable to lightning, they're resistant to light and fire. But other than making us wet, which doesn't really do anything against them, there's nothing special about them. So we'll let them get to a single attack range and we'll see if they'll take the bait. Because then they hit us and we hit them back. But maybe not the leader. My leader will go there. Do they rush in for that one attack? They do! Which is... works against them, because I'm in defense mode, so I take less damage than they do, and I hit them first. Also, because there's a Wave of Tranquility, status effects will be dispelled every 2 turns, but there's not much of that going on. I will have a bash at mobilising them, maybe. We mobilise one. Maybe you'll get in the way as a friend. I don't know if you can walk on that bit there. Let's see if we can immobilise you as well. I don't know if that 0 means it's just triggered or it's about to trigger, in which case that immobilise won't do any good if it's already triggered. This under defences works quite well. And with the mark, we're doing extra damage, so you are dead. At which point, I think I'm just going to block there and guard for now. I'm not sure if they'll be able to move. Right, you were able to come round. That's fine, but you still only got 1 attack, so it all worked out quite well. And it looks like that 0 was that turn it had gone, so we got an immobilise. But it means I'm pretty sure an immobilise now wouldn't work. But these guys are kinda fragile compared with them. I've also kinda screwed myself over in positioning here. So I guess we need to make that attack. The mercenaries are pretty good. I could have tried doing the shove, but I'm not sure what happens if there's someone behind them. So they're just going to have to move from there. The leader can still shoot at people though. Oh no, crits against me. We might lose this guy. Oh no. Run away. 2 damage, but still got the effects. And I can stab them in the back. And they can come up and block the way. Stabby stab. There we go. level ups for a lot of us. Got a bunch of research. But I do need to heal up is the thing. Really want to run back, but I kind of have to. I want them to live. See some gold? Nope, production. I always get it wrong. I always get the wrong answer as to what it is. We can now do the engraving focus. I've actually got enough mana to do the other thing. So we could get the secret arrows now, or we could get designate target, which is a Reaver thing that a single enemy gets 2 marked and distracted, which means all attacks count as flanking. But I'm going to get the secret arrows because I'm hoping that relatively soon we'll be bumping up to... What's my train of thought again? Sorry. Relatively soon we'll be bumping up to the town hall and get tier 2 stuff. Do another farm to unlock that for faster building. And for faster growth. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I was thinking maybe another forester here to expand towards this. Does that give just more research? No, I'm going to just do a farm down here. So that after this we can get the stonemason a bit faster and get everything a bit faster, because it's a bit slow to build just now. And a level up for you. Obvious choice is to give him first strike. It's always very useful. And you've got a shield, but I can't use it. Not with my current weapon. I could change so I don't have a pistol anymore, but I like my pistol. Right, so we'll come down here to heal, and that way we're close to more things to fight. Could potentially declare war on them. It'd be a relatively even match. They're putting an outpost down there. I've already got a whole raft of stuff floating about. Bloody hell, they've got tier 3s already? That doesn't seem fair. There's the seal. There's another one down here for the seal victory. Build another Harrier and we'll get the Sundering Blades on the go. Decaying defences. HR Razor Crest appears before you, concerned about the defence of Woundheart. Supreme Commander Vic Cruisenhawk, I have long been impressed by your feats of construction and humbly ask for your help. My building plans have seen some delays, and now Woundheart's defences are falling behind. With rising tensions in the realm, I fear my city may not withstand a siege were such a thing to happen. Gee, I wonder who's going to siege you. Please share some of your architectural wisdom with me so I can protect my citizens. So we could... I am not blocking production, but if we wanted, we could do that to make them happy, or to get some money. Or I can say, admit your weakness, what a foolish mistake, at which point... That seems like a bad thing. We get a war with them, we get minus 10 alignment, and for 12... Oh no, for 12 turns, it's not a bonus. I thought it was a bonus to fortification, they get reduced fortification health. If fortifications are rubbish, I'm just doing nothing. Later in the game, that would have been useful just for capturing them faster, but I don't think we need to just now. I see an unguarded chest, though. Early garden. Bunch of draft. And maybe an item? Yeah. Oh, zealots. I'm gonna fight the zealots. Because I want that banner. Do have a support person, a chaplain, so they've got some healing, got a buff, they've got a fairly solid shooting attack. These are bad flowers, so if we could get them to walk in the flowers, that'd be nice. here, am I? I'll sit in the foliage. Yeah, these guys kind of need to stay back. Okay. They're bullying my hero. Oh, and you're not doing anything. Okay, well, if you're not gonna come over here, maybe you just stay there. Let's beat up the guys that are all buffed. Yeah, I'm going to send them to take the hit, counter attack, so that I can then hit my leader. I haven't worried about it. I kind of want to kill them, but I don't want to let them get an attack, because that was the whole point of immobilising them. So I'm going to go around here. Got a wee bit of pressure on them, maybe. Oh, I ran out the flowers. I didn't mean to do that. We'll do that. There you go. Let's do my driving attack. And then these go after them. Do I have any more range? I've got range on my hero. So we'll pop them just to weaken them, kill a couple of models, and then tie them up in melee. Hit a lot harder than us, it would seem. But it's fine, because, well, it's not. I only have one Harrier. 2, 3, 4. Oh no, that's a Harrier. Yeah. It's a little risky. A little bit risky because they might shoot him in the back. But they're fumbling. Yeah. I would have probably done the same. But, level up for everyone. And yeah, we definitely need to go and heal again. So they've built an outpost already. Pain in the ass. What's down here? Another banner, should I want it? What are you? Scrap hermit? This is new. Oh, it's a hermit crab. Oh, that's adorable. It's got a repeating fairly weak attack, but on hit it gets 5 temporary hit points and a 60% chance of bolstered defense, and it pierces defenses. And it can spray acid on people. Does damage and sunder defense, short range, and it's got shield wall. And it's pretty tough. Ooh, I like them. And I've got an iron golem assistant and a copper golem. Well, that's new. I like that. I didn't see them at all in my last playthrough. Got our first special thingamy. So of these, I'm thinking either blink or assassinate. I think we'll just take assassinate. Get even more chaos affinity from it as well. And then mark target's quite nice down here. Early days, having the reduced upkeep's quite nice, but just making them better at fighting is also quite nice. Problem is split damage types. Do I go for the melee or do I go for the better accuracy in shooting? I'm going to go for the melee because if someone attacks him, we'll be using melee more often overall. And our blades are now sundering, which has killed our mana income. So I'm not going to be able to do the other thing. And unsurprisingly, they've done a rivalry. But that says at an hour, so I am going to stop there and we'll pick this up on a future episode. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed it enough to watch more. I'll be back. I think I'm going to maybe schedule these to release daily, but I'm kind of recording them in blocks of like 4 or 5 hours at a time probably. But that's roughly what I'm going to do, I think. So if you're watching this the day it comes out, there'll be another one tomorrow. But for now, thank you and goodbye.